What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a new makeup haul, and I have gone so ham on the new makeup recently that I have to split this video into two parts. So I've been shopping for makeup at Morphe, at KKW Beauty, at Sephora, at the drugstore. So today's video is going to be a Morphe haul. I'm just going to focus on the products that I got from Morphe because they include the Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection, and I want to spend a little bit more time talking about the Vault, swatching it for the very first time on camera and letting you guys know what I think and addressing some of the controversy around this product. It's a little early for wine today, so I have a Starbucks here, but let's get real. I'm probably going to pour a glass of wine right after this. Just before we get started on today's video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up before you leave. Now we obviously have a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get into today's video. If you want to see all of the new products that I picked up from Morphe, keep watching. Okay, so before we get into the Vault, which is what I'm going to spend the majority of this video talking about, I did pick up a couple of other things from Morphe in my order at the same time that I purchased the Vault, and I'll just go through those really quickly. The first thing that I got was two of the Morphe highlight and contour sponges. So I really like these in comparison to the Beauty Blender because I feel like they're sort of the same consistency and they really grow and get nice and soft when you wet them. But what I like more about this one than the Beauty Blender is this little flat edge here. I really like that it has two flat sides and a very, very sharp point. And the reason why I like that is because you can get up right underneath your eye when you're putting powder on, and it puts a really, really sharp line here when I'm baking. So I usually just like dip this flat edge right into my loose powder, and then I just and draw like a really straight line down my cheek. And I find that this really sharp edge helps to create a nice, really straight line that creates a really like sort of carved out cheek. These are also way cheaper than Beauty Blenders. This was $9.50 Canadian, and a Beauty Blender from Sephora Canada is $26. And I find that I actually go through these fairly quickly. Like I'll usually go through one every 2 months or so, because I found that no matter how often I clean them or how thoroughly I clean them, foundation still ends up getting stuck in the tip up here, and then after a while it doesn't retain its shape and it makes the foundation go on kind of uneven and not very smoothly. So I like to switch out my Beauty Blenders and my sponges pretty often because I find that the new clean ones provide a more flawless application. And for $9.50, I can afford to replace this one more often than a Beauty Blender. Plus it has that flat tip, so to me it's just a lot better. Oh, and this is a good time to mention that I made this order from Morphe Brushes Canada. So they've actually created a Morphe Brushes Canadian website that has all the prices in Canadian dollars, and then you're not paying like the duties and all of the extra costs that were coming with shipping those products over the border. I believe they now have a Canadian distribution center, and this is where those products came from. So it was a lot more cost effective to order from Morphe.com this time than it has been in the past. And I really like on the Morphe Canada site that it has all the prices in Canadian dollars, so I can very easily see what something is actually going to cost. And there were no hidden charges this time. I just paid for the contents of my order and the shipping costs, and that was it. So that was really, really good. No worrying about exchange or duties or anything like that, so I can actually order these a little bit more often than I would have in the past when they were having to come over the border and it was such a hassle to order from Morphe in the States. So I really, really like these, and if you're looking for a good, affordable alternative to the Beauty Blender, I would highly recommend these. These are very similar to the Real Techniques foundation sponge that you can get at like London Drugs or Walmart. That's like a drugstore version of the Beauty Blender, but I find these to be a little bit better. They're a little bit more soft when they're wet, and I find they just apply a little bit more smoothly. So I am a huge fan of this sponge and would highly recommend it. The next thing I picked up from Morphe is one of their continuous setting mists. Now this was another product that had eluded me for a long time because when I was ordering from Morphe in the States, they could not ship this over the border because it's an aerosol product. I saw all the standard Morphe loving influencers on YouTube absolutely loving this product, and because it's an aerosol, it's sort of innovative because most setting sprays have like a pump and you're having to like constantly go like this. And sometimes the first few sprays are not consistent, so you're getting a lot of like concentrated liquid on your face, which can actually kind of ruin your makeup. But this spray is like very consistent, and it comes out super like light and airy, and it just gives your makeup a really, really nice set, and you don't have to worry about globs of setting spray getting onto your foundation and ruining it or making it run or anything like that. So The actual first time I tried this was I got a gift from one of my dance students. I guess her parents went down to the States and she had them go to the Morphe store and pick one up for me and bring it back over the border, and she gave it to me as a gift at recital. Oh my god, I almost cried. I was like so excited. And ever since then, I absolutely love this product. So I was super excited that they created this Morphe Canada website, because now I can order this with absolutely no problems. So I wanted to get a backup one because I am a huge fan of this product. I really, really like it. It's an excellent setting spray, and this is another thing that I would recommend as well. And to give you a comparison, this setting spray costs $20 Canadian, and my favorite setting spray from Sephora is the Urban Decay All Nighter, and that costs $40. Now there's slightly less product in here, but I also feel like you're getting a little bit more out of it because it's aerosol as opposed to pump, so it's hard to get, you know, like the last, I'd say, quarter of an ounce of product out of a pump spray because it doesn't like come up into the pump, whereas you can actually spray almost every last drop of setting spray out of this product. So I actually find that this has been a great alternative. It's really inexpensive, and like, say what you want about Morphe, but these products are cheap and they work, so I'm a huge fan. So the next thing I got in my Morphe order is a couple of brushes. And no, these are not the Jaclyn Hill brushes, because that launch was announced after I made my order to order the Vault. So the Vault launched, I think, on like August 14th or 15th, and then her brush set launched 2 weeks later. I probably would have bought a couple of brushes from her brush collection if I was doing the order all at once, but I didn't even know about the brush collection yet when I made this order because I just wanted to make sure I got my hands on the Vault. I had all of these other things in my basket already, and then when the Vault launched, I just popped it into my cart and like went to the checkout because I wanted to make sure that I got them. But had I known about her brush collection, I maybe would have waited because I didn't realize the Vault was going to be restocking so soon. But the first brush I got is the Morphe E36, and I'll show you this one. I got this one just because I lost my other one, and I absolutely love this brush because it's a tiny little detail brush, and it is perfect for putting shadow right in the inner corner. So I will just like use this brush to tap shadow right there, and it gives you a really precise application and doesn't put too much in the inner corner, which I'm already guilty of anyways, so this helps me control the application of that. I just lost my other one. It fell out of my brush roll when I was in Fargo for my dance competition, and I don't know where it went, so I just wanted to replace it because this is one of my favorite brushes from Morphe. And then the second one I got here is the Morphe Y9, and this brush I got because I saw Lipstick Nick, who I'm a huge fan of, using this brush for foundation. Now I have this brush here. This is the Morphe M439, and I used to use this for foundation, but I find that because the bristles are so dense and they're so hard, that it was really hard to get a like flawless application with the foundation for me, just because I need a lot of full coverage. If you're somebody that doesn't need full coverage and you can go light to medium, this might work for you because it like spreads out the foundation a lot. But for me, it was just giving me a streaky application and it wasn't giving me the full coverage that I needed. But this brush is not as densely packed. It's a little bit more fluffy and a little bit more loose. And I saw Nick using this just in small circular motion, so I wanted to try it because I felt like this would be a good way to continue applying foundation with a brush. Like, I really like the way it looks. I find that sometimes when I use a beauty blender or a beauty sponge, my foundation can look stamped on, you know, and you're more likely to get that cakey sort of look. So I just wanted to try this to see if I get like a different application on my foundation with this brush. And I'm just such a huge Lipstick Nick fan. I think she is so artistic and so amazing, and anything she uses, I definitely want to give it a try. Okay, so now getting into what we all came for, and that is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection. So the Vault Collection on the Canadian website is $64 Canadian, and each of the individual palettes is $20 Canadian, so you save about $16 buying the Vault altogether. So I'm really impressed with the packaging of the Vault. I was very happy to see that on the inside of this Vault box that there is bubble wrap in there. I actually had a couple of serious disasters ordering makeup in the last little while. I've had 2 products that have come smashed, which I'll talk about in my next video. And I was really nervous that these palettes were gonna come just completely destroyed, but they came in perfect condition. These are the 4 palettes. There's Dark Magic, Armed and Gorgeous, Bling Boss, and Ring the Alarm. And each palette has kind of a theme. So the Dark Magic one's kind of greenish, Armed and Gorgeous is yellow, Bling Boss is purple, and Ring the Alarm is red. Now, when I first looked at the palettes, I thought that Ring the Alarm and Bling Boss would be the 2 palettes that I would want, but I decided to get the whole collection just because there's shadows in the Jaclyn Hill palette that I never thought that I would dip into, that I really ended up loving, and I wear them all the time. So that's why I decided to get all 4 palettes, because I just wanted to get inspired by all the shadows that are in there, and I figured that I could get inspired by different looks on YouTube, and it would push me out of my comfort zone to try more shadows and new colors. So the Vault has a ribbon that lets you pull out the palettes like that, and I'll just go through them one at a time here. Now, keep in mind that I have not swatched these yet at all. I wanted to make sure that I swatched them on camera and gave you my true first impressions of the swatches, because I have seen a shitstorm on YouTube about these palettes, and we'll get into that controversy in a second. But I just feel like I wanted to find out for myself if these palettes were worth buying or not, because it depends on who you ask. Like, some people have really great palettes and their swatches come out really great. And then I've seen some absolutely terrible swatches on the internet. I have thoughts on those swatches, so I'll get into that in a sec, but I just wanted to really find out for myself if the Vault is good, what the quality is like, and if I'm personally going to like it. I didn't want to let anyone else make that decision for me, because you never know what people's motives are on YouTube. I find that because Jaclyn is a successful businesswoman, she has millions of followers on YouTube, and she has such amazing selling power. Like, every single time she recommends something on her channel, it sells out on Sephora.com instantly. And I feel like people have a tendency to drag or want to bring down people that are successful. And so I never really know people's motivations behind saying that Jaclyn Hill's products are shit, because I have the Becca face palette, I have Champagne Pop, I have the blushes, I have the split pans, I have the Jaclyn Hill palette, I have the Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette with Becca, and I've never had a problem with any of her products. So I just wanted to make this decision for myself, and I wanted to swatch it on camera so that you guys could see what I personally think of the swatches. All right, so before we get into the swatches, I just want to talk about the history of the Vault and what kind of happened with this product. So it was originally supposed to launch in June, and then I guess influencers who got the Vault PR package and started working with the shadows on their channels noticed that there was a patchy formula, it was inconsistent, it was hard to blend out, and they were giving that feedback in their videos. So I think Jaclyn and Morphe went back to the drawing board and just sort of decided what they were going to do, and they realized that some of the palettes had been pressed incorrectly, and then everything was repackaged, reformulated, and repressed properly, and the launch was delayed until basically the end of August. So immediately there was a huge controversy. Everyone was saying there's no possible way that you could reformulate, repress, repackage, and rerun all of those palettes in such a short amount of time. People are saying the reason for the delay of the launch is because this logo right here, the Morphe Jaclyn Hill one, is very, very similar to the one that Jaclyn used when she collaborated with Becca Cosmetics, which I have right here, and it does look incredibly similar. I don't know, think what you want, but Jaclyn says she's not going to comment on a lawsuit, but they really did, redo all of the palettes. So I guess all of the new palettes came out, and I guess people were still having the same problem, saying that it was inconsistent and it was a patchy formula and all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to test out the swatching for myself. So I'm just going to swatch with my fingers. I'm not going to swatch every single shade, and I'm just going to see for myself what I think, because some of the swatching videos for these Vault palettes has really, really pissed me off. One of the swatching videos I saw was somebody using a shader brush, like a fat, fluffy shader brush, to swatch the shadows on their arms. And I just thought to myself, nobody would use that brush to apply these shadows. So why would you even bother swatching with it? Like, if we were going to apply a glitter foiled, shimmery shadow, all of us would use a stiff packing brush, and we would use Fix Plus, or we would use our fingers. But nobody would use like a fluffy brush to apply a shimmer shadow. Like, of course you're not going to get any pigment. Of course you're not going to get any payoff, because it's a fluffy brush and it's spraying the pigment everywhere. So like, you're not going to get the same color payoff that you would if you use the shadows properly. So to me, swatches that don't use the shadows properly are a huge waste of time. Like, why bother? You're obviously just trying to do Jaclyn dirty. You're obviously just trying to get clicks and views and the ability to like put a big thumbs down in your thumbnail and put emotional, not clickbait, like when it obviously is clickbait. Like, people will do literally anything for views, and it's so annoying to me on YouTube. That's a rant for another day. And then with the mattes, it's like you're not using a fluffy blending brush and you're not trying to blend out the edges of the mattes. You're just trying to like use one swipe and press it down with a brush. And it's like, that's not what the mattes are meant to be used for either. Like, why swatch eyeshadows in a way that they're not meant to be used? You're obviously just trying to make the product look bad so that you can add to the narrative that these products are shit and add to the controversy and the shitstorm. And honestly, there's a big enough shitstorm on YouTube already these days in the beauty community without like people trying to add to it. Anyways, again, I'm gonna like not get into all that because I'm super fired up about it. Okay, so starting with the Ring the Alarm palette, I think I'm gonna swatch these two shades right here. This one is called Boom and this one is called On Camera. And the reason why I'm picking those is because there are two very similar shades in the actual Jaclyn Hill palette. Now, excuse me because mine is incredibly dirty. I use it a lot, but I think that those two shades are very similar to these two shades right here. So I just wanna do some comparison swatches because I don't think anyone has been able to deny that the original Jaclyn Hill palette is a really, really good palette. It's super pigmented, it's not patchy, it's blendable. Everyone's been saying good things about it, so I just want to see how these palettes compare because she said it's the same formula. So let's go in. I'm going to do a couple of swirls of On Camera and a couple of swirls of Boom, and like already, huge pigment, huge color payoff. If I had gone in there with a brush, like there's no way it would look like this. Like, people drive me nuts sometimes. So now I'm just going to swatch On Camera for you. So to me, those are incredibly pigmented. They look gorgeous. Like they don't look patchy or chalky to me at all. Yeah, like tons of color payoff. Looks good to me. I don't know. So my first impression of those shimmers is that they would go on really well. So now I'm just gonna swatch those other colors from the Jaclyn Hill palette next to them. So I actually don't know the names of the colors in the Jaclyn Hill palette because I lost that little insert that came with it. But this is like the gold and the shimmery color. And again, like these look the exact same. Like to me, same color payoff, same shimmer, same pigmentation. They feel the same. Now I will say that having dipped my fingers into both palettes, I will say that I think that the Jaclyn Hill palette is a little bit creamier and a little bit softer. But honestly, like I am getting literally the same color payoff. It feels like the Ring the Alarm palette is pressed a little bit harder, but it doesn't seem to be making any kind of difference on the way that the shadows are performing on my hand. So I don't know what to tell you. So for the Ring the Alarm palette, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This is the shade Mugshot, and there's a number of like warm browns in the Jaclyn Hill palette that look like this. So again, like massive color payoff here. It feels soft. It doesn't feel patchy to me at all. I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch it. And like, yeah, that is exactly how I would expect a matte shadow to perform, especially with a finger swatch, like honestly. Okay, so I just cleaned my hand off and now I'm gonna go in with, I don't know, I guess this color. I guess that's kind of close. Sorry that I don't know the shade names, but yeah, these colors look nothing like each other. But anyways, they're both matte. And I'm just gonna go in with both and like swatch them at the same time on my hand. And yeah, look, same thing. Good pigmentation, went on. Like they're both a little bit, I don't know, like it's not a perfect swatch. Like it's not like I just took like a permanent marker and swatched it across my hand. But you don't want that with matte shadows. You want them to have the ability to blend out a little bit. So you're not gonna get like a really, you know, sort of super dark swatch unless you like go over and over it a bunch of times. Again, I'll say I ordered from Morphe Brushes Canada, the website, like the online store. So I might have gotten good palettes. I don't know. Like some people are saying that the palettes from Ulta are not that good or whatever, but, and I don't know if it makes any difference, but like my palettes do not have V2 on them. I also heard that some people think that that has significance. Jaclyn said it doesn't. The stamp that it has on the back just says AB07D. I don't know if that has any significance to anyone, but to me, the Ring the Alarm palette is great so far. I am really impressed with it. Okay, so next we have the Bling Box palette, and I am so excited to swatch the shimmers in this palette. Oh my god, look at this pink one right here. Oh, that reminds me so much of Pink Champagne, which is my favorite eyeshadow ever. That's my Anastasia Beverly Hills. This really reminds me of that color. So I'm gonna swatch this shade, which is called Bling Bling, and then I think I'm gonna swatch this one. It's called Berry Treasure, and I know that a lot of people were saying that that one was terrible. Definitely for sure, when I stick my fingers into this palette, I noticed that it is not as soft as the original Jaclyn Hill palette for sure. Like, especially when it comes to the shimmers. The shimmers have a different consistency in the Jaclyn Hill palette. Oh, but this Berry Treasure one, ooh, look at that. That is gorgeous. This one actually is pretty soft. So just this Bling Bling one was a little bit hard, but let's see how we do. Okay, so like these look great. Like black shadow is always really hard, but yeah, that pink shade, man, whoo, that is nice. So great pigment on that. The Berry Treasure one, when you like swatch it on your finger, it does end up showing a lot more of those like purple glitter pigments in there. And when you put it on your hand, it looks more black and the glitter is more spread out. So it's not as like concentrated as it is when it's on your finger. But again, like these shades swatched beautifully. I don't know, I really don't get the controversy because these look great to me. And so I'm just gonna go into the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is the shade, I think it's called SBN, but I'm not totally sure. I'm just gonna swatch that one right in the middle. Yeah, same. That was a horrible example because you can't see it on my hand, but yeah, like seriously. They swatch the exact same as the original palette, for me anyways. Okay, another one I want to swatch from the Bling Box palette is this shade right here. It's called Gem. It's this bright purple one. And then I'm also going to swatch this shade right here, which is called Rockstar. The reason why I want to swatch Gem is because there is a shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette that is very, very similar to it. It's this one right here. I find that these two are kind of close to that one, so I'm going to swatch all four of them and just kind of see. There's not really a bright purple matte in this palette, so I think I'm gonna swatch this one next to Rockstar. Or you know what? How about this? So in this palette, there is this shade right here called Sparks. So I'm gonna swatch that one and this one right here, Gem. And then I'll put swatches of the Jaclyn Hill palette, kind of similar colors next to it to see how the swatches work. So first I'm gonna go in with Gem. Again, it feels very soft. And what did I say? Sparks. Again, this matte feels incredibly soft. Look at the pigment on this. Like, I don't know what people are complaining about. Okay, so those look really pigmented to me. They don't look patchy. They look like nice shadows. I don't understand. Okay, so this purple one in the Jaclyn Hill palette. Sorry that I don't know the names of these. I think maybe this one's called Royal or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, so they look the exact same. So I swatched this one like kind of upside down. So that one is the Jaclyn Hill palette and that one is the Bling Box palette. And then this matte from the Jaclyn Hill palette that I wear all the time that I really, really love. Yeah, same. I'm experiencing the exact same formula between the original Jaclyn Hill palette and this Vault collection. Now, it's going to come down to how these actually perform on the eyes, but because I know that the Jaclyn Hill palette looks good on my eyes, like I'm wearing it on my eyes today. It was completely blendable, like no problems at all. I mean, my makeup skills aside, obviously, but I had no problems with the pigment. So that makes me think that the Vault collection is going to be the same. Okay, so moving on from the Bling Box palette, let's go to Armed and Gorgeous. So the first one from the Armed and Gorgeous palette that I'm going to swatch is this one right here. It's this mustard yellow. It's called Access, because there is a similar shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette, which I will show you in a second. Now, again, the Jaclyn Hill palette's a little bit softer than the Vault one, but let's just see how these do. Yep. Literally the exact same to me. Like, I honestly don't know what to tell you guys. They're both really soft. They both look good. They both feel good. So the mattes in the Armed and Gorgeous palette, you know, must be the same formulation as the original Jaclyn Hill. Obviously, I haven't touched every shade, but so far, they've been okay for me. All right, so now let's try the matte orange. So that's this one right here, Secure, that I'm going to swatch. Again, it feels very pigmented. I'm also gonna swatch this middle shade right here from the Natasha Denona palette. It's a matte orange as well. So they look okay to me. I don't know if my opinion matters or not, but oh, okay. So I was gonna swatch this one from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and it looks a little dark, but I'll put that one right in the middle. So I'm finding with all three palettes, Natasha Denona and the Vault and the original Jaclyn Hill palette, that none of them are swatching exactly perfectly. Like, there is a little bit of fallout and like a little bit of powder that's coming off my fingers. But look at these three swatches. Like, you'd never know that these come from three different palettes. Like it's fine. So then the last one I'm gonna swatch from Armed and Gorgeous is going to be Coin right there. That is a really, really shimmery gold color. Holy shit. It's like chartreuse. Huh. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. See if there's anything similar in here. I think that probably the closest would be this gold color, even though that's a little bit more gold and this is a little bit more yellow, I guess. Look at that. To me, those are the exact same quality. And I paid $187 each for those Natasha Denona palettes. Like, You can't tell. You literally cannot tell the difference. And the Natasha Denona one, I had to blow it away because it looked a little like flaky when I put it on my hand. Moving on to the last palette here. This is the Dark Magic palette. So I'm going to go in with the shimmery green because Jaclyn Hill did a Dark Magic tutorial that she just posted on her channel. And everyone was like, oh my God, like you did this enormous jump cut and it wasn't fair and blah, blah, blah. So that is trickery right there. And then I'm also going to go in and swatch this one right here from the Jaclyn Hill palette. So those are the two shades right there. Just put them on my hand really quick. Boom. Totally fine. Okay, so last shade I'm going to swatch from the Dark Magic palette is now going to be a shimmer. It's going to be this one right here, this silver one called Power Cut. There is a similar shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette right here. I'm not sure what this one is called, but it looks kind of similar. It's like a silvery taupey kind of color. So I'm going to go into that one as well and then into Power Cut. Okay, so those are the two shades on my fingers, and then I'm just going to... Okay, so yeah, same pigmentation, they look the same on my hand, they swatch the same. Yeah, that Power Cut shade is gorgeous, wowza. So as you guys have seen, these Vault Collection palettes are great quality for me. I love the swatches. I think they look great. It remains to be seen how they're going to perform on the eyes. And if you guys want some Vault Collection tutorials or some Vault Collection looks, I'd be happy to do that on camera for you and talk a little bit more about how these shadows work for me. But literally for $20 a palette, even less when you buy all four of them together, I just want to implore and urge you guys to not believe everything that you see on YouTube when somebody's trying to start drama or they're saying the palettes are shit or whatever. I encourage you to just like think for yourself, try them out for yourself. You can always get a full refund on Morphe products if you're not satisfied. So if you order the Vault and you find that it's crappy and that you don't like the consistency and it's patchy for you and it doesn't blend out, just send it back and you'll get a full refund. But don't listen to all these people who are trying to start drama on YouTube. YouTube is moving towards more sensationalized entertainment and just the thing that'll get the most clicks, and people are just devouring that sensationalized media so quickly now, and it's gotten away from like reviews and tutorials and favorites videos and hauls and that kind of thing. But I just really encourage you to just think for yourself, look beyond maybe the motive of what the person swatching is trying to accomplish, which is usually just getting views, and try it out for yourself. That's what I did, and I'm really happy with these Vault palettes so far, and I can't wait to use them on my eyes. So the last thing I want to show from my Morphe haul is the fact that I got a second Vault Collection. So I ordered two at once. Now obviously I only need one, and the second one I ordered because I want to put it in a future giveaway. So I will be putting this Vault Collection into a future giveaway because the swatches that I just tried out right now, I believe are of a high quality. I ordered this one from the same place, so I'm confident that whoever gets this is going to be getting a good set of palettes. I was a little nervous at first because I'm like, oh, if it's patchy and gross, I don't want to give it to a subscriber, but I really liked the Vault Collection that I swatched here today, so I will definitely be putting this in a future giveaway. So please stay tuned for that. And let me know if you want a series of looks using the Vault Collection, because maybe I can do a look with each palette and then put the giveaway at the end. Let me know in the comments down below. And that is it, you guys, for this Morphe haul. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope that you got something out of it. I enjoyed talking about the Vault Collection with you guys and swatching a few shades for you. Again, I just want to encourage you to make up your own mind when it comes to products. You don't necessarily have to believe everything that you see on the internet, because a lot of times there's ulterior motives, there's jealous people, there's people trying to get views, there's people trying to just stir the pot and spread hate, there's people who are trying to bring other people down, there's people who don't like to see successful women, so they want to tear them down as fast as they can. So I just want to encourage you to just make up your own mind. If the Vault palettes don't work for you, then they don't work for you, but don't necessarily play into what everyone is saying on the internet, because it doesn't always prove to be true. And as always, guys, if you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment down below letting me know the kind of videos you want to see me do in the future. And if you didn't like this video, keep that shit to yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.